Members of Parliament from both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party were involved in a heated argument in relation to the occurrence of dangerous activities across Jamaica. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has stated that it is quite an hypocritical criticism coming from the opposition People's National Party, because they stated that his administration has lost its handle on dangerous activities and that the island's airspace and borders are open and free for all to enter. Opposition leader Mark Golding and president of the People's National Party has mentioned that the government needs to speak to the nation regarding the recent increase in dangerous activities, which he said is at an alarming rate and is quite frightening in a similar way to the increase in cases of the pandemic in Jamaica. The president of the People's National Party also mentioned the events which occurred over last weekend, which involved a mysterious plane landing in Rocky Point in Clarendon, and he also mentioned that the occupants of this plane have not been since found, because persons have theorized as well that they are involved in dangerous activities. There is also a feeling that the government needs to speak to the nation as to how it will tackle these issues, especially at this time when the state of emergency option is not on the table. The courts have ruled that it is not constitutional, but they're also concerned that they are not really hearing any new strategies being outlined by the government. The increase in the loss of lives is somewhat similar to the increase in the cases that are in relation to the pandemic. And he says that the entire nation is anxious to see how this is going to be addressed by the government. The entire level of insecurity across the island is growing, and it must be responded to with an effective response. The opinion, however, earned Mr. Golding a stinging rebuke from the Prime Minister, who went to great lengths to detail steps taken by his administration to reduce dangerous activities across Jamaica. He went on to state that, "I am asking the leader of the opposition to help us to quarantine some of the dangerous individuals who are taking the lives of persons in Kingston Western, which includes St. Andrew South." The Prime Minister further went on to state that, "I am requesting that the leader of the opposition give his support to measures that give emergency powers to the government to control the dangerous activities that are occurring. There is no switch that can be flipped, and nothing will happen overnight to reduce the loss of life that is occurring across the island. We have always been fair to this country that after decades of underinvestment in our national security apparatus in this country has come down and laid down a plan to secure Jamaica. Not a one-year plan, not a two-year plan, not a decade of planning to increase our border security and protection. According to the Prime Minister, he has not put in place a single or short-term plan. However, he has put in place 10 years of planning in an effort to increase the protection and security close to Jamaica's borders. The Prime Minister went on to note that the government was not blind to the happenings or occurrences on Jamaica's coast and airspace. He said, "Now we know when the planes are flying, we know who is coming into our waters. Let me not say too much, but never before in the history of this country have our security forces brought so many cases before the courts. We're not only bringing in the dangerous groups and the leaders of these dangerous groups, but we are doing it at the same time we are reducing the extra stardust way in which lives are taken. And we're also reducing the number of lives that are lost in the security forces. We're not doing it because there is an independent commission of investigations." He further went on to state that every Jamaican is concerned about the increase, and we would like to be able to respond with the special measures that we are planning to implement as time goes by. But of course, we are not going to rely on that. We are going to continue with our plans to secure Jamaica. Clearly, you would have seen that the level and amount of serious substance that have been intercepted have increased as well. Getting the dangerous tools coming into our ports have also increased. We have discovered many of these dangerous tools at our ports, and they have been seized by the relevant security teams. You do not bring in 50 members of a dangerous group by forming a group to go down there and take them out. You bring them in by increasing your intelligence gathering capacity. The minister further went on to state that the biggest hypocrisy is the request for more presence in communities that are being affected by the dangerous activities. During the resulting interchange between the Prime Minister and the opposition leader, there was an increase in chaos in the House of Representatives, as members on both sides of the House exchanged verbal criticisms. An opposition member of Parliament took House Speaker Marissa Dalrymple Filbert to task for her handling of the exchange, testily demanding what was happening in the Parliament, when she prevented him from asking the Prime Minister to give a yes or no answer to his query of whether the areas concerned can have increased security presence in communities without the SOE. Of course, it was a terrible situation. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this discourse that occurred between the two parties within the House of Representatives. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.